Join me as I dive deep into the question, what if Bill Clinton had made different choices? Let's see if I can rewrite history. Bill Clinton's presidency was a pivotal moment in American history, marked by moments of triumph and controversy. From the early 90s until the end of his term, Clinton's presidency was a roller coaster ride of twists and turns that left an indelible mark on the nation. But what if he had made different choices during those critical moments? Would America be a different country today? Clinton's presidency was bookended by two momentous events: the end of the Cold War and the dawn of the War on Terror. These events presented him with opportunities to shape the nation's trajectory in profound ways, and yet, it's the choices he made during these moments that have led many to wonder what might have been. The possibilities are endless, and they're what drive us to explore the what-ifs of history. So in this video we're going to examine some of those choices and see where they might have led us. The economy was booming during Clinton's presidency, and for many, it was a time of unparalleled prosperity. The tech industry was taking off, and the dot-com bubble was inflating to unsustainable levels. Meanwhile, Clinton's policies on healthcare and foreign relations were redefining America's role on the world stage. The economic boom was a classic tale of good news and bad news. On the one hand, it created unprecedented wealth and opportunities for many Americans. On the other hand, it masked underlying problems that would eventually come back to haunt the economy. Clinton's economic team, led by Treasury Secretary Robert Rubin, was credited with engineering the boom, but critics argue that they ignored warning signs and allowed the bubble to grow too large. Clinton's healthcare reform efforts were another major initiative of his presidency. While they ultimately failed to pass, they paved the way for future efforts to reform the healthcare system. And yet, the controversy surrounding his wife Hillary's task force on healthcare reform remains a fascinating footnote in the history of his presidency. Foreign relations were another area where Clinton made his mark. From the Dayton Accords to his handling of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Clinton's diplomacy was often praised and criticized in equal measure. His decision to intervene in the Balkans, for example, was seen as a bold move to stop ethnic cleansing, but it also raised questions about America's role as the world's policeman. The Monica Lewinsky scandal, of course, was the controversy that threatened to consume his presidency. How he handled it, and the subsequent impeachment proceedings, would have far-reaching consequences for American politics. And yet, despite the scandals and controversies, Clinton's approval ratings remained high throughout his presidency. In hindsight, it's clear that Clinton's presidency was a complex and multifaceted period in American history. But what if he had made different choices during those critical moments? Would the economy have continued to boom, or would it have crashed sooner? Would healthcare reform have passed, or would it have remained a pipe dream? Let's imagine an alternative scenario where Clinton takes a different path during a major crisis. Perhaps he decides to intervene in Rwanda, or maybe he takes a harder line on North Korea. The possibilities are endless, and they're what drive us to explore the what-ifs of history. In this scenario, let's say Clinton decides to take a more aggressive stance on trade with China. He imposes tariffs and duties, sparking a trade war that would have far-reaching consequences for the global economy. The effects would be felt across the board, from American farmers to Chinese manufacturers. Alternatively, what if Clinton had taken a different approach to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? What if he had pushed for a more comprehensive peace agreement, one that would have recognized a Palestinian state and established clear borders? The consequences would have been profound, potentially paving the way for a more stable Middle East. These are just a few examples, but the possibilities are endless. In each scenario, we're forced to confront the complexity of historical events and the role of individual leaders in shaping history. As we explore these alternative scenarios, it becomes clear that history is a delicate balancing act. One wrong move, one miscalculation, and the entire trajectory of events can change. And yet, it's precisely this uncertainty that makes history so fascinating. In the end, exploring the what-ifs of history is a thought-provoking exercise that challenges our assumptions about the past. It forces us to confront the complexities and uncertainties of human decision-making. And it reminds us that, in the end, history is shaped by the choices we make and the choices we don't make. So, what do you think? How do you think Bill Clinton's presidency might have changed with different decisions? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our other video on presidential history. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.